Hey guys, it's nine. This is in part 9.5, and remember what I said about when my phone automatically turns off. When my phone automatically turns off, pretty much the recording stops. So please understand that I did not do it on purpose. This happens sometimes. So pretty much I have to continue with this. So we continue with the fight that Asta was going with the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Pretty much. Uh, Sorry, Fernwell was trying to leave with, of course, Ghosh trying to force him to stay with Asta, and I was about to say that Asta was going to push and pretty much pushed Ghosh out of there because he's someone that shouldn't hurt himself because he was actually pretty hurt somewhat. And pretty much Asta and Yami says, "Why did you do that?" With Asta saying, "Well, he might get in the way, and also he's already low on mana, I can guess." With Yami saying, "Wait, you can sense chi?" With us saying, "What is chi?" With pretty much Yami giving him the fundamentals, with Asta being a really quick learner, just saying, "Oh, okay," and he can actually sense it. With, of course, the Eye of the Midnight Sun is kind of annoyed that they ignored them in the middle of a confrontation and like a battle. With I forgot the guy that can use beast magic, and I think it was Fauna that one of them was called. I don't remember. Fauna, I think. Maybe I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go look it up right now. Yes, I searched it up and it was Fauna. Okay, so pretty much, Fauna was gonna attack Asta, and pretty much. The guy with the beast magic, pretty much was gonna attack Yami. With Asta, of course, able to, and of course, I remember the bracelets that Asta has. I did not forget the power bracelets, or should it be power gloves? I don't remember. I'm just gonna say power bracelets. So pretty much, Asta has the power bracelets, and you guys might ask, why does it matter? You'll see in a bit. Then Asta pretty much did, of course, the same thing with the sword slashes, like anti-magic sword slashes, and using the anti-magic that he got, pretty much he uses it to like attack and take out the fire, and pretty much Fauna is surprised by this, but she still keeps attacking, with Asta doing the same thing, dispelling the fire and also slashing anti-magic slashes with the Master Sword. Fauna being annoyed, and pretty much yelled out to the beast magic guy, and pretty much was about to attack Asta. Yami says, "Hey, you're fighting me." And pretty much they keep on attacking, like they both keep fighting as canon. With Asta getting the chi thing, like how to sense chi pretty quickly, since of course battle senses, like you can adapt really quickly if you're fighting someone, stuff like that. So pretty much pretty much there was others that were fighting him. Asta was being like double teamed. I don't remember what one of them were. I forgot. I only know two. No, three. Only three, if I remember. I forgot how many there were. But the guy can copy like magic and stuff. And pretty much the guy actually tried to get close to Asta to try to copy him, with pretty much Fai telling him, "Don't let him get close." Pretty much Asta tried focusing on more of the guy that could copy him. And Asta pretty much, like in his mind, asked, why should that? Because if I can actually analyzed, let's say she can analyze, saying that because he can copy magics, and if you let him get close, he can actually copy the champion's magic, the champion's ability. With us, well, that would not be something that I would like. Pretty much Asta protecting himself and letting the guy not get his grimoire, like letting the guy use his grimoire to try to steal from Asta. He keeps on attacking and like stuff like that. With Asta using the grappling hooks after he grabbed one, pretty much putting away the Master Sword and just using grappling hooks. And wait. Sorry, I went to go eat. So now I'm back. Where were we again? It was a fight, if I remember. Yes, we were. Pretty much that's when the fight was happening. And pretty much the other Magic Knight captains appeared. And they were helping Asta to, they were backing up Asta and Yami. With, I believe it was Nozel that looked at Asta and kind of just angry, and a bit angry, but he just kind of swallowed his pride to just help the Black Bulls. And pretty much the same thing goes as canon with, I think it was Vetto, that was his name again, but pretty much before they were gonna leave, he was about to attack Asta. Pretty much everyone else was nervous because they were all leaving. This is when the fight ends, which Vetto was about to give a cheap shot. Asta, knowing this, he actually put up his hand and stopped the punch. And all of this was done because of the power bracelets, which Vetto and everyone else shocked. Asta just stunned everyone. Asta just holding Vetto's, holding onto Vetto's hand, and he slowly starts crushing it. And Vetto was just looking at Asta, just thinking, what is he? Is he a monster? Pretty much. Then that's when the portal appeared behind Vetto, and he was taken away. And pretty much we continue after that. And then pretty much, Nozel was pretty much that's when Asta and everyone else returned to the village. Pretty much Asta seeing that the kids returned to their parents, which he felt happy about, and he was just smiling. With Rebecca going up to Asta and saying thank you, and thank you for bringing back my younger siblings. With Asta saying it's no problem, and it's my job after all to bring back the people that can't defend themselves, right? Pretty much Rebecca kind of flushed a bit, and then and kissed him on the cheek, saying, and Rebecca said, I know you're interested in someone, but take this as a thank you. With us saying, well, I'll accept it then. With Funeral literally saying, are you serious? Asta got a girl and I didn't! With pretty much Noelle kind of feeling there's something in Noelle that she wants to feel jealous, but something in her says that it's like something that knows that she won't be able to be with him somehow. She doesn't know why, but she just knows. And then pretty much, a few weeks pass, and the same thing as canon, where they go to the beach to go to the underwater city and stuff like that. Let me get a drink first. So pretty much, we continue with them going to the beach, with Noelle actually riding with Asta because she feels comfortable on using the motorcycle, since she can't properly use her magic. We continue with the adventure, so pretty much, Noelle does the same thing of getting that she was just thinking that of course the swimsuit with the jewelry looked nice, and pretty much Zelda kind of teased her a bit, saying, oh, you're trying to impress Asta, huh? Pretty much, and all the other girls actually didn't know what was happening. With pretty much Zelda pretty much just straight out telling that Noelle has a crush on Asta. I was just saying, no, I don't. Just be quiet and shut up. I do not have a crush on him. With Zelda saying, then why are you blushing? With Noelle saying, well, it's because you are making things up and it's embarrassing, okay? With Vanessa actually saying, "Oh, so you do have a crush on him then?" With her saying, "No, I don't." And then pretty much she just says that she decides to not get that swimsuit. And then she sends another one that looks with red and blue, which looks nice. And pretty much decides to buy that one, which actually she liked it, and some of the girls actually complimented her that it looks nice on her, and it looks like it suits you. With Noelle just going to walk to the beach, with them saying, "Oh, Asta," pretty much Noelle hiding behind them because she was embarrassed completely, and pretty much Asta just turns around saying, "Yeah, what up?" With pretty much Vanessa and Zelda getting pretty much moving out of the way to see Noelle, with Asta being surprised and blushing a bit, with Zelda saying, "What do you think of how she looks like?" With Asta saying, "She looks fine. It suits her." With him trying to hide his blush, with of course the poker face. With Zelda seeing that he's slightly blushing, saying, "Well, you got a reaction out of him." With Noelle and Vanessa saying, "What? How do you know? He doesn't even look like he's changed his expression." With Zelda saying, "Well, I do know my brother. He hides his expression from embarrassment, and besides, he's slightly blushing. You'll get to know when you get to know him more." Noelle kind of feeling happy and blushing a bit that Asta is blushing at her still, like that. And the same thing as Canon. Yami pretty much scolds everyone saying that you're not doing your jobs and I'm the only one that's working here. And we're not on a vacation. Pretty much like that. And pretty much told that the city is underwater and the only person that he can think of doing it is Noelle. Asta might not be able to do it because it's mostly like, there's like, how do you say? He has a bit of a time limit in a way, because during there's like pressure underwater, right? And it can actually squish like the shield, and it can actually make it crack, and some water can fall in. So Asta pretty much explains it, and he says that we might drown if we try to do that. With everyone saying, "We won't like that, so Noelle, it's on you then." With Noelle saying, "What? Why me?" With Naomi saying, "Well, you're the one that can make a barrier that can't squish us or has a limit to it. So, pretty much, you're the one that's going to be doing this." And the same thing as canon happened with Asta and Noelle. Pretty much, Asta being next to her just in case if things get out of hand. And pretty much Noelle and Asta get to know each other a bit more. With Noelle saying, so pretty much she kind of, how do you explain it? Pretty much she was kind of embarrassed, saying, pretty much just talking to Asta really, but she was kind of talking to Asta, but just pretty much she was kind of embarrassed talking to him because, feelings and stuff like that. She doesn't know how to express them. So pretty much they hear the same thing as the voice of someone. And also I got this idea from Luca. So yeah, with Asta and Noelle kind of hearing this, it sounds beautiful. They go to the direction where it is, and they see a girl just sitting on a rock. And they just sit down and enjoy the music. When the girl finishes, pretty much she turns around and sees Asta and Noelle. And she goes towards them. And pretty much when she got towards them, they saw her, and she looked like a fish. Well, not completely, but she has like webbed feet, webbed hands, stuff like that. With Asta and Noelle being surprised, with her saying, "Don't worry, I'm not here to hurt you. Don't worry." With Asta and Noelle being confused, saying, with Asta, with her getting a glance at her, he kind of remembers image that he saw of his past life and the word Zora. And then he said, "Are you a Zora?" With the girl saying, "Yes, how do you know?" With us saying, "Oh, I kind of heard of this from my dad. That you guys used to live somewhere in the ocean, but they couldn't know where, but they knew that you lived somewhere in the waters or somewhere there." With Noel being surprised that, wait, your dad knew about these? With us saying, yeah, he said that there was a lot. He kind of met a lot of them when he was younger, but I guess that was a long time ago. But either way, it's actually amazing to meet one. But I want to, and pretty much they see that she slowly starts turning into a human. Like the gills are going away, and pretty much the scales are turning into regular skin, stuff like that. With Asta being surprising, wait, how in the, with her saying, well, sorry, I can't say, it's a secret, but yes, I am part Sora, but also part human. With Asta saying, what? How is that? With her saying, don't worry about that, but what do you think of my singing? Will you humans be able to like it? With Asta saying, yeah, it's pretty good. And pretty much the same thing as canon happens for her, like, helping them. And wait, I need to remember her name. Wait. Sorry, I wasn't able to find the name. But I did try, but is it okay if you guys can tell me where the name in the comments, please? And please don't hate me. But we continue with, of course, Noelle was able to do the magic, was able to make the magic cradle that wouldn't, like, destroy under pressure. But she has to be pretty focused, and asked Asta if she can put away, like, the sword for now, which Asta was okay with. And pretty much that's when, pretty much the same as canon, for, like, they were able to find the underground city, which Asta destroyed the magic water, I don't know what it's called, underwater tornado, I don't know what it's called, I forgot. But pretty much same things as canon happened, for, like, all the group and team was pretty much put in the game, with Yami saying, wait, why did you take me here? And pretty much, the guy said, well, you are extremely strong, and that wouldn't be a fair game. With Yami just laughing, with the guy saying, what's so funny? With Yami saying, you literally think that I'm one of the strong, I am, thank you for calling me strong, but there's another guy that's strong, but he put him in the game, and he started laughing hysterically. I can't wait to see everything happen. And of course, just letting you know, he's not the ruler. The Game Master guy is not the ruler, actually. He's actually going to be the next in line, but he isn't the ruler yet. Let me explain why, but not now. So pretty much right now, we continue with the game. It's same as canon, with Asta fighting the same guy, the guy that's a dancer, with the guy asking if humans would like the dance that he's doing, with Asta saying it seems pretty impressive, and pretty much the guy's sword dance, the same thing. Pretty much they're both, with Asta pretty much, of course, able to dodge all of them because of his slow motion perception, and he's only using the Master Sword because he feels confident with it. And pretty much, he's able to dodge, able to, counterattack. Sorry if you're hearing noise in the background. It's just my parents watching a funny movie. That's all. So pretty much, same thing as canon happens. I think his name was Vetto. Pretty much luck, and the same thing as for everyone, really. With Vanessa, Charmy, Gauche, Noelle, pretty much fight all the same thing. And of course, Noelle, instead of using the wand, she uses a sword, of course. But she also uses a wand as well. But for combat, she switches to her sword. Just letting you guys know. I did not forget about the sword or the wand. Okay. And of course, Zelda is there. And some of the guys, of course, fell for Zelda, but also Noelle, and saw Noelle using water, which they thought that she was a water goddess, of course. And some of the guys just fell head over heels for Zelda, and some fell for Noelle. And of course, pretty much, same thing as canon happens as Magna and Locke are fighting Vetto as much as they can, and they actually last a lot longer, barely standing up, with them about to fall back, with Asta catching them. Because Asta ran really fast thanks to the help of Revali's Gale. And pretty much, he just set them down carefully, with Vetto looking at him saying, now we can have a proper fight. With Asta just looking at him, not saying anything, giving him the death glare. With Vetto just kind of shaking a little bit. It's like, like he's shaking a little bit. Vetto looks at this and tries to stop him shaking, but he can't. It's like he's gonna fight a warrior. Someone that's seen thousands and thousands of battles. And then pretty much, Vetto put on a stance because, as like a way, like unconsciously as self-defense, because he didn't know what he was going up against. With Vetto saying, "What are you?" With Asta saying, "I'm a human." Like you guys said, I'm a filthy human. Pretty much just... And Vetto just says, "Are you mocking us?" Asta says, "No, of course not." With like a lot of sarcasm, so it can be noticed. With Vetto just being a bit angry. He throws a punch at Asta, and Asta, of course, just raises a hand and stops it again. With Vetto still being shocked, saying, "How is this?" And everyone just sees this. Well, everyone saw that Asta was able to stop a punch from Vetto. Which they were surprised and asked, "How is that?" With Zelda remembering that the power bracelets are actually something that can carry something about 100 times your weight. 100 times your weight. And she just remembers and just smiles, saying, "He can do this. It's possible." With pretty much everyone just amazed. And of course, Finral and Vanessa are there watching this, and Asta. With pretty much, Asta pulls out a sword and stabs Vetto in the leg, and he says, "Ugh, you brat, how dare you." If you guys hearing, just remember, if you're hearing me, a lot of sound in the background, it's, they're just watching a movie and stuff, like a comedic movie and stuff. So pretty much we continue with a lot of, like, Vetto shows a lot of anger. With Asta still being unfazed. And he asks Noelle and others that if they can move Magna and Locke out of the way, because things are going to get serious, and he doesn't want them to be in the crossfire. Everyone understood, with Noelle quickly, as fast as she can, tried to pick them up. Asta taking out the sword, and then the shield. Asta says, "I'm ready. Let's see what you got." With Vetto punching, Asta blocks it, and pretty much being pushed back a bit. Not too much, but a bit. Vetto's surprised that someone can actually handle it, and he just smiles, saying, "This is gonna be fun." And I'll show you true despair. Stuff like the same as canon, with Asta being fast because of Revali's Gale. And Urbosa's Fury. Urbosa's Fury is actually helping Asta. Pretty much, he actually slashes. Sometimes the slashes turn into an anti-magic thunder slash. Because of Urbosa. Thanks to Urbosa's Fury, the attack. And then pretty much, Asta keeps doing the same thing with Vetto. Pretty much the same thing happens to Yami, of course. Like him trying to get out of there. With Vetto pretty much doing the same thing. Vetto pretty much blocking, and actually got Asta off guard. Was able to catch his patterns, and almost slowly match up to his speed. And then actually got him unarmed with both his sword and shield. With Asta still fine, just stands up from such a powerful punch that no one can actually handle. With Vetto saying, "You're no normal human, are you?" Asta says, "You're right about that. I am not a normal human." And pretty much gets this mask. With Vetto sees, with pretty much everyone else looking are confused of what they're seeing. With Vetto trying to get fast enough, but he wasn't fast. He wasn't fast enough to get there. Asta puts on the mask, and they hear a scream, and the shadows engulfed Asta. And then when he appears again, he looks different. The fierce deity Link appears. Everyone in its presence can just feel the immense of power. Not magic, but power. And it's like they were seeing almost a god. But actually, one of them, there was one person that was sitting on what looks like a throne. And then pretty much says, "It can't be." And he looks at the sword, and he says, It is. It can't be possible. Does that mean that he is?" And pretty much Asta continues fighting. And pretty much hand-to-hand combat. With, of course, fierce deity Asta is destroying. With Vetto being extremely annoyed and actually was about to curse him. With fierce deity Link, with Vetto actually holding fierce deity Link's one arm, and he tries crushing it. The thing is, he can't. He's like, "What? How can I not curse him? What's happening? What is he?" With Asta just looks at what Vetto's hand is holding onto his arm, and just turns back to his face and just instantly punches him in the face. Asta summons the anti-magic sword. The Demon Slayer anti-magic sword. From the grimoire. And he starts walking towards Vetto. And Vetto starts crawling back saying, What are you? How can you surpass a person such as I?" And Asta pretty much just keeps walking towards him, not saying a single word. Vetto gets up and he says, and he's pissed off that he's seen he thinks that the fierce deity Link is seeing him like a weakling. And he says, "I'll kill you." Pretty much he goes running towards Asta, and Asta raises the sword, and then while Vetto was running towards him, Asta instantly slashed down at the perfect moment where Vetto was literally right in front of him. He cut through Vetto. Asta, not even phased. With Vetto, his eyes widened, shocked at what just has happened. With the only thing that Asta says that thank you for the fight, but you have not seen of what true power and despair truly are. You will know it one day, but being freed from it is a whole nother gift of its own. Instantly knocking him, falling down, which they thought he was dead. And of course, Asta did punch fierce deity Asta pretty much did punch him a few times in the face just to make sure he was knocked out. with, of course, Asta pulling out the sword out of him. Everyone shocked of what just occurred to them in front of them. Everyone, even in the city, shocked. It's like they saw a fight for the millennia or centuries. And when Asta took off the mask, he went back to normal. Everyone and every person shocked, like knowing, but they all cheered, saying, "Yeah, that was amazing!" Stuff like that, because they didn't think that they knew that Vetto was an intruder, but still they were amazed that they met three incredibly strong people. And then pretty much, Asta was happy and he started walking away, and that's when he felt something. Then he looked up behind, and then he saw Vetto starting to float up in the air, and he started laughing like a maniac, saying, "I'll take this whole city down to hell with me," and like laughing and stuff like that. And that's when Yami appeared in the nick of time. Asta was about to attack him, with Yami saying, "It's fine. You went beyond your limits, and I'm proud of all of you." Pretty much doing the same speech, saying that I have to push beyond my limits too, and doing the dark dimensional slash, the same thing as canon, which he of course kills Vetto, and then pretty much they bury him. They do a burial there, and Asta kind of faint, like blacks out because of too much adrenaline, and he was kind of injured actually, because like. It didn't injure him too much because of the fierce deity, but he actually did get a few like broken ribs, so like let's say 2 broken ribs pretty much, and a few broken bones. But it can and some like fractured bones and stuff like that, which can easily be fixed in his state. Really, he can heal pretty fast. With pretty much Asta being in the hospital, then we see Zelda with an envelope that was in a different room. She was looking at the envelope, and it says, "To my daughter." Because she didn't have a name yet when of course, Licht was going to name her. And pretty much, well, mostly, yeah, with pretty much Zelda taking a deep breath and was about to open it, and then she hears a door open, and then instantly she puts it away. And then she sees Asta, and she says, "What are you doing? You should be in bed." Asta says, "I was just worried, and besides, I didn't know what to do. I was just bored, and there was a lot of flowers on my bed, and I don't know why." And Zelda says, "Oh, that's because they thank you," and that's when they hear Noelle saying, "Get away from me!" Pretty much, of course, the sword guy. It's the sword guy, pretty much both of them going there, saying, "Goddess, please," like him being pretty much the guy simping for Noelle. And for some reason, Asta felt a bit jealous. For some reason, he doesn't know why, but he felt a bit jealous and says, "Please get away from her. She just feels very uncomfortable." But the guy says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make the water goddess feel uncomfortable." With Asta saying, "Water goddess? What?" With the guy saying that it's the water goddess because she's using water. With Asta saying that's magic. But still, they called her the water goddess, and also called Asta a god, a deity, or a god, whatever you like to call it. And actually said, "Oh, I there's another reason why I'm here." With Asta saying, "And what is that for?" With him saying, sorry, I meant to say that the guy that he was pretty much the game guy, pretty much wasn't the king, but he used to be. He just passed it down to his kids and stuff like that, and also the secrets and stuff. And pretty much he says, the king and queen ask for your audience, please. Not just you, but that blonde girl too. With also saying, "Oh, Zelda?" Pretty much them saying, "Yes, please." With pretty much Asta, Noelle, and Zelda going to where the king and queen are. And there they see Hylians. And Asta kind of remembers what he saw from like the girl that helped them and stuff like that. He says, "Are you the king and queen, right? If I'm correct." With them saying, "Yes, we are," and also young hero of the sword, the chosen hero of the sword. With us being surprised, saying, "Wait, you know?" And the guy says, "Yes, we know the legends." Mostly because the royal family, is related to the past hero. With us saying, Asta, Noel, and Zelda saying, "What?" Well, with Austin knew that that his past self married the a Zora, but he didn't know that the Zora was royalty. With Asta saying, "Wait, if my past life marry a Zora, but..." And pretty much when then they hear an old voice saying, "Well, because she was a princess, a royal princess of the Zoras." With Asta saying, "Wait, does that mean the past life of me was a king?" With pretty much saying, "No, no, no. They they both actually decided to not be king or queen, and they decided to pass it on to the younger sibling of the princess." With also saying, "Wait, but what about her children? Yes, one of them did become ascend to the throne, while the other explored the world somewhere out there, but still." And pretty much also says, "Wait, so can I please know the story or whatever?" With the royal family says, "We know, but we're gonna need some privacy with only three of you." And he asks some of the servants to actually leave the room and make sure no one can come in or out. Asta, Noel, and Zelda asking, "Why did you guys close the door and everything?" With pretty much, the king saying, "There are two legends in the Zora, and for us Zoras." Sorry if you guys are hearing the people really loud. Wait. Pretty much it's because of well, only the servants know. Some very little servants know. Mostly the people that are at the top, you can say the chief, or the ones that are on top that know, like the chief, the guard that's the chief, or like pretty much the people that are like the almost like the right hand mans and stuff like that know this information. Not the maids or butlers, like not that. So pretty much the king says, "Let me say the first legend. That was long, long ago. One day, the Princess Ruto was destined to be married to another prince, Prince Zora. But that was denied because in the thousands of years ago in the past, there used to be someone that we cherished as a god to protect us from all evil. And he did so, but in the cost of being controlled by one so that you may know as Ganon." With Asta being shocked, saying, "What? Then how did..." With him saying, let me continue, please." With then we remember something of a boy almost as the same age as the princess. She went to Ruto to hide from the marriage and everything. With pretty much the princess, of course, hiding there with the boy, highly inhuman boy, sent to retrieve her and save her and also stuff like that. With the princess, at first that they met, she despised the hero. But then every heroic act, every time, everything he did, actually slowly made her fall for the human. And then she gave the proposal to the human, a blue sapphire pendant that only us royal family have, and we still have it till this day. Well, more like a replica. The original was said to be actually part of something even greater. We don't know where, but someday we hope we find it. With us saying, may I ask how it looks like? With him saying, ah, yes, here. Pretty much taking off a necklace. And he says, this is a replica. This is in our tradition. The female actually has to make this for the male Zora as a proposal gift. And I don't know what the male does. Pretty much he actually has to also do, pretty much they both have to do the same thing. With Asta being confused, actually, and asked, did they marry or something? With the king saying, sadly, no. The princess became something that us Rutos call a sage of water, that actually helped the human to be able to save the future and go back through time. Instantly, he gets an image of Princess Ruto from the Link of Ocarina of Time and stuff like that. And he said, and that's why he hears the voice of Link from the Ocarina of Time says, that's how she looks like, by the way. Not the Zora that you know from Breath of the Wild, from like the Link of of your previous last life. And pretty much we continue with the story with him saying, well, and sadly they were never able to be married, so the king had to make a choice of who would become the next in line when his daughter was a sage and couldn't do anything about it. And pretty much that's when another king was chosen by, pretty much, let's say another king was chosen. And that's when they go through the past one, like of Mipha. And he says, this is the legend, and we have the second legend of the Princess Mipha of the past, which is our great-great-great-great-grandmother. With also says, oh, so that's the, and they said, yes, that's when the hero married the princess. And through their children, they actually had a little prophecy that was set for them. With also says, what's the prophecy? And he said, first, we need to tell the story. And pretty much, the queen actually says it, saying, can I please tell it? I love the story. I actually love this story. May I please explain it, honey? Pretty much the king says, go ahead. Please, go ahead. With pretty much her saying that, first, let's begin to when, even before Ganon appeared. Or before the boy became the hero. Pretty much the same thing as Link from the Breath of the Wild said, that the princess was someone who was prideful, but also kind. She put a facade, you can say, that she was someone that was hard-headed and stuck up, but she was not. She just did that to protect herself because she was scared that others may use her or anything. But then, one day, she met a boy, and this boy was accompanied by his father, which was a knight from what used to be the human kingdom called Hyrule. And the land was shared by 4 species: the Zoras, Ruto, and Goron, and Hylians. With Noelle saying, what are Gorons and Rutos? With her saying, well, there are still Gorons here, but very little left. The only place you can find them is volcanoes. And also some Rutos are in really high places, like really tall mountains, and also cold weathers, you can say. With everyone surprised that they still exist, with even Asta surprised. And the queen says, let me continue the story. We begin with the boy. His name is the legendary Link. And this is the first time the princess meets him. The boy was smiling, always getting himself hurt. And no matter what, he just is always friendly to others. And that's the thing. That's what made the Princess Mipha fall in love with him. With every action that he did was selfless, caring to others. And she was scared to show that part of herself. With Link actually being her first true friend. Later on, years later, she was in love with him. Because each time he visited, he grew up more and more. Because let me explain. Zoras age differently from humans. It takes us hundreds of years to actually reach the age of what you people say, 30. But all that changes when the young boy became a man in her eyes. She was truly in love with him. She even went as far as to want to marry him, which the father at first denied, and the brother actually thought it was amazing, really off for a Zora to fall in love with the human, because they might disappear, like what happened to the Princess Zora, the legend that my husband told you right now. But she still continued, with the father also giving up and finally agrees to let her marry him. And then, of course, but there's something that the princess didn't know. The boy that would become the hero of the sword, was also in love with her. And also, just letting you guys know before I continue, the Ganon incident happens a bit later on, like about 3 or 2 years later on. Not now, but later on. Way further. Because I want to continue this love story. Okay? So please don't hate me. With pretty much, she proposes to the hero, with the boy accepting her feelings, and says he always loved her ever since he first saw her. He was just scared as well. And she started laughing at this because the boy had immense courage, but was scared to show his feelings towards her. And some of them, and pretty much Noelle and Zelda look at Asta and started laughing, saying, so you're scared of showing your feelings, huh? With Asta saying, shut up! And the queen chuckles, saying, and then they got married. With the king of the Zoras asking if he would want to become the next king of Zoras. With Link, Mipha's new husband, saying that he thinks that he shouldn't be the new king. The king asked why, but he said that he's someone that takes orders, doesn't give them. He's someone that is a knight at heart, because his family was also knights. And also, he actually asked if Mipha can go live with him in Hyrule. Besides, he would also always visit them as much as he can, and also invite them if they want. With the king at first scared of losing his daughter, remembering that the boy that was becoming a knight had amazing achievements. He was able to fight armies and hordes of monsters all by himself. And then, a few months later, they had children. They had twins. One was a boy, and one was a girl. The girl was called the Great Hilda. Hilda or Hilda, I don't know, one of the two. I'm just gonna say Hilda. It's like a reference to Hylia. And the boy also is this. I don't know what to name the brother of Hilda, so you guys decide to name him. Of course, it's been told that he was so nervous and scared. The amount of frightened, he was super frightened. But something was odd about these two children that were mixes between a human and a Zora. It looked human at first, which at first the princess didn't mind. And then when they had the interaction of water, they started becoming Zoras. Scales appeared, and their fins too, and webbed feet. With Zora and Link surprised that their children had both aspects, but the only way that they can activate them is to interact with water. With, of course, her bringing her children to her father, and the father was extremely joyous, filled with extreme joy to meet his grandchildren. With, of course, the great Sidon was also happy to meet his niece and nephew. But one day, when the Link was on patrol with the other knights, they were ambushed in the Kokiri forest, the forest where you can be lost. Luckily, Link pretty much showed the way, and they saw the Master Sword. All of them were filled with hope. That's when all of them were being attacked. And then the man, Link, when his sword and weapons were broken, and his shield was broken, when all of the soldiers were killed, instantly, the only thing that he can think of doing is pull the sword out of there. And by mere chance, he did. He became the hero, the one to give hope and light for this world. But he didn't know the amount of the burden that he would have. He was happy that he can be able to save his family. Then one day he returned. Luckily one knight was still alive, but extremely injured. The knight noticed that Link is the one that pulled the sword out of the stone. He was happy, and this was the captain of the knights, his instructor. Then when they returned, they put a report that they were able to find the hero with the sword. And they also put out these divine beasts. The mother, the queen, the Princess Mipha, was one of the champions. Was one of the champions that was chosen by the divine beast, and was happy to help her husband in grave peril, to be side by side, to be able to have each other's backs. This is when she started training hard. She started to work so much that she was extremely exhausted, holding her trident. Then one day, a smith, a very special smith, appeared. He said that he can turn that trident into a sword, but it can turn back into a trident if she so desires. With Mipha actually thinking that this is the best idea and best choice for her, she lets the smith do his job, and he did. He was able to do the sword in 1 week, and it worked like it should. When the hero went back to his family, he heard that his wife was actually one of the chosen to become a champion. He was frightened by this, knowing that she might be in great peril if he's not able to be with her, and that he was nervous that his children wouldn't be able to be protected. So he thought maybe it would be better if they all went to Zora's kingdom of Zora, which of course the king accepted and was happy to be close to his daughter and his son-in-law and his grandchildren. With of course Sidon being happy that his sister is back, and with his brother-in-law. And this is when the princess started training with her husband in swordsmanship. She started getting better in swords, using the sword that was granted to her, and also using a trident. With her husband, of course her husband was surprised that she is able to use 2 types of weapons. But not just that. The weapon was advanced enough to be able to be changed to a sword, to a trident, which he thought was marvelous. And of course, their children saw this and were always excited to see their parents duel. Of course, the father wins, but sometimes they get a draw. But then one of the knights went towards Link when he was sparring with his wife. The knight was confused of why he was with Princess Zora, the Zora princess, Mipha. But he didn't mind it. He just said that the king needed you at the castle. With Link, with of course the hero, the chosen hero, goes immediately. With the princess worried, she decides to go there too. With the kids wanting to, but she told them that they should stay, for just in case. With, of course, Sidon said he will take care of them. Then, this is when Link was pronounced Zelda's personal knight. With the princess doesn't want the chosen hero by the sword, to be her personal knight. And she wasn't able to unlock the power hidden within her. Of course, some of the people were wondering why the Zora princess was here. And even the king asked why she was here. And she said she's here for her husband. With the king asking who her husband is, she said that it was the chosen hero. With the king surprised, he thought he was making it up. But the hero spoke up saying that no, I'm actually married to her. She is my wife. And he shows us the pendant that was given to him. And he also showed a bit of the past legendary armor that the Princess Zora made for him. Everyone was shocked, even the princess, saying, "Wait, are you a royal?" Thinking that he was a king. With Link saying, "No, I decided to pull that roll down and putting it on, and I'm not the king. I don't want to be the one that's a ruler because I feel like I'm incompetent, but I'm okay with being a knight." And understandable. With the king, after being shocked, he said it's fine. With, of course, him confused why he didn't want to be king. With the Princess Zelda goes up to Mipha saying, "When did you marry? And why didn't you invite me?" With Mipha saying, "Well, it was a secret marriage because you know what would happen if other humans thought a human marrying a Zora would be acting like." With Zelda understanding, saying, "Yes, I understand now why, but thank you." With her, and she said, "I'll try to treat him okay." With, of course, Link saying, "So, how are the kids? Should we go look for them?" With Zelda still being shocked. Well, I'm just saying, by the way, I'm just letting you know that I'm actually talking it in my point of view, but she's telling it, that the queen is telling it in a different way. Where this Princess Zelda was shocked that he was already married at such a young age and had kids. With her saying, "Wait, you are a mother?" With Mipha happily saying, "Yes, I'm a mother of 2. And they're precious angels. And also, they're pretty powerful like their father." And he said, "Well, they also have your looks, too." With Mipha says, "What do you mean by that?" And Link says, "Well, you're beautiful, so they are beautiful, too." With Mipha blushing, and they're flirting in front of Zelda, saying, with Link saying, "Sorry, princess." And Zelda says, "Just call me Zelda, please." Pretty much everything goes the same as canon in Breath of the Wild. With her not being as rude to Link, but still feeling pressured. With her talking to Link, and pretty much Link says, "Well, I understand your feeling, but..." And also even talks to the king saying, "Your Majesty, I may not be... Is it okay if I can talk to you, sir?" With the king saying, yes, you may. What about Zelda's progress? With Link saying, it's positive progress, but I think she's feeling too pressured, sir. I know I may not have to, shouldn't talk to you in this way, but I think she should take a bit of a break, sir. She's going through a lot of mental stress, and I think that's one of the reasons why she's having a mental block, sir. With him saying, what do you mean? With Link saying, I think she's just feeling that since she's going through too much pressure, she thinks she can't do it, and she's blocking herself, sir. So she's not fully accepting herself in a way, sir. Link explaining that she's just going through like a a way she's putting herself down, but she's pressuring herself to keep going forward, even though she just should calm down and take a few steps or breaths, stuff like that at like some points, you know, and just like let it happen and stuff like that. And this goes on for a few years, and Zelda has an easier time. And the thing is, and the queen says, with unbeknownst to the knight, the Princess Zelda starts falling in love with the man. Everyone here is shocked. Everyone, like Asta, Noelle, and Zelda saying, what? But he's already married. With the queen saying, she knows, but she didn't, in a way, she didn't care. She felt bad, but she didn't care in a way. With pretty much Zelda actually meeting something like the kids, like both Link and Mipha's kids, Hildia, to pretty much someone that was practicing with the bow, with her little brother actually practicing with the sword, which he's actually pretty good at because their father's side, but each one of them got a different aspect. One is more powerful with the sword and like close quarters combat, like swords combat, stuff like that, with one being extremely exceptional with a bow and arrow. And not just that, like throwing things, she has perfect aim. And pretty much, Zelda is feeling a bit jealous because of this. She knows she shouldn't, but she does. And then everything happens. The calamity happens. This is where chaos struck and tore the family. With Link trying to get as fast as he can back home to protect his wife and kids, but also bringing the princess along to also protect her too, because he was told to protect his daughter, the daughter of the king. With Link protecting her, but not able to get home because of these machines called Guardians that were supposed to help them defeat the Ganon. But because it failed, Ganon was able to take control over every single machine in the palace. And then that's when the knight, Link, almost lost his life that day. Zelda was able to unlock her powers. She wasn't able to save the man she fell in love with. But before he did, he said, please, take care of my kids. Tell them I love them. Tell my wife I love her. I tried. And please tell them. Please. Zelda, holding on to his hand, cryingly saying, sure, I will. Telling him that she will tell them about their father. With her remembering about a place called the place of reincarnation, which would save the hero, because she saw the sword glowing and talking to her, that the hero was still alive and can still be saved. Thankfully, but by mere chance, the Shikai, the secret guard for the royal family, was there and able to take care there. But before they left, Zelda asked them to tell them everything that they can about room of reincarnation for the family. Which the Shikai agreed, and of course told of where the family is. But unbeknownst to the hero, his wife was fighting for her life and for her children. Everyone was safe, besides the wife, and she was taken by something called a blight cannon, created by the malice of Ganon. She lost her life that day, protecting her citizens and children. But before she did, she gave a gift to her daughter, the sword that was created for her, saying that this is for you. I should have given it to you I was going to give it to you when you were at age, but the time is better than nothing. Remember us and never forget us. That's when she asked her little brother, Sidon, to take them away to safety. Of course, the children tried to fight back and to go back to their mother, protect her, but she had a weapon, her old trident, and she was gonna fight to the end. She did. She was able to sacrifice herself. Doing that, she saved her children, her citizens, everyone. Then one day, the next day, a Shikai went up to the king and told him of the situation that the hero nearly is losing his life. With everyone shocked, saying that there's no hope. But he said, but there's a way to save him. But there's a side effect, sir. The king asking what the side effect is, that he will go to the room of reincarnation, but he will lose his memories when he wakes up. The Sidon, the king of Zoras and Sidon were shocked that if he wakes up, he won't remember anything, not even his own wife or children. Which Asta and everyone like Asta, Zelda, and Noelle were shocked, saying that, how is that? Why would he? And everyone's shocked. And the queen started tearing up, saying, yes, this story is sad, but it gets even sadder, but it's a lovely moment. Let me continue with saying that during the years, the hero's young children started training as hard as they can to protect their citizens. One with the bow, the other with the sword. The twins grew mutual respect for each other, but they were distant at the same time, because the only thing that they keep hearing from others is that they remind them of their mother and father. Them wanting to know what their mother and father were because they barely have any memories from them. With, of course, the sister having the sword of her mother. With the something left behind the brother has something left behind by his father. And when they became of age of 113, with everyone saying, what, 113? Shouldn't they be dead already? With Zora said, remember, Zoras and humans are different, but since they were hybrid, they looked human, but can age like the Zoras. With, of course, all three of them shocked. And the queen continued, saying that when Sidon finally decided to speak up about their parents, the twins wanted to hear and were excited about this, that their father was the hero of the hero, their mother was a champion, and something that they actually have a connection to her is that they have the healing power of healing as well. Well, one of them, and one of them has the power of the hero, with pretty much saying, who has it, but Sidon saying, I shall not say it. You have to figure it out for yourself. And they asked, what happened to their mother? What and father? With Sidon saying, you are at the age of knowing what happened to your parents, so I may tell you. Sidon saying that your parents were dealt with something difficult. One was meant to protect the princess, and the other was meant to become the pilot of a divine beast that now is corrupted by the blight cannon. With the twins shocked, saying, is our mother died because of... And Sidon said, yes, your mother, my sister, got killed by the blight. But not in vain. She sacrificed our citizens. She was able to sacrifice herself and save the citizens of Zoras. We're still alive because of her. With them asking, why? And pretty much says, what is there for her? With Sidon pointing at the sword that Hildia has, he says, that sword was your mother's. She always trained with your father with it. And I remember when you were younger, you always kept cheering for your mother to win. She could never win. Your father was too much of a good swordsmith for her to be able to beat. Sometimes I was able to challenge him, and I never beated him. But with what are you saying? This is mother's? What about father? And pretty much Sidon says, since you already have a gift from your mother, I shall give this to your brother. Pretty much he gets a bow, and pretty much the brother says, a bow? But I'm not good with it. With pretty much Sidon saying, this isn't any regular bow. This bow is special. Something created for the hero. And the hero didn't want it. He asked if his son or daughter can have it either. He wanted his children to have it. Pass it down. He felt like since he already had one, he wanted his child to have it. Which one of the two? Since one of you already have a gift, I shall give it to the other. With pretty much him giving the bow to the brother saying, but what's so special about it? With him saying, the bow is something that's stronger than any other bow, created for only the hero, but since you have your blood related to the hero, I think it may work for you. I don't know if the same abilities will happen, but... The brother says, what do you mean? He says, something told me. I remember this talk before everything happened with your father. He said that every time he uses a bow or is in the air with the bow, time slows down for him. It's like he can react faster than anyone, and it's amazing. Since I thought both of you are related to him, you can do the same thing. With the such thing, but I'm the one good with the bow, and he's the one that's good with the sword. With Sidon saying, you can switch if you want. With pretty much, they do switch, and they're amazed, but how much power the two weapons they have contain. And the brother starts crying, saying, but what happened to father if he's the hero? Does that mean we have no hope left? And that's when Sidon says, no, we still have hope. With the twins saying, why is that? With Sidon saying, your father is put into a slumber. We don't know when he will awake, but when he does, that's when Sidon stops. And he turns away. With the twins saying, what? What will happen? with Sidon saying he will lose his memory. With pretty much the twins saying, "What? How can our father forget our own faces or memories? How? Why?" With Sidon saying, "Because that's the effects of what happens when he wakes up from his long slumber. Hopefully, yes, he will awaken soon enough. We don't know when, but hopefully he does." With pretty much, that's when we go to Link's point of view. He doesn't have any memories. The only thing that he can remember is 3 names. Mipha, Hildia, and the brother's name. And that's when pretty much the same thing as canon happens, with pretty much Link going to the first divine beast where Mipha is. Pretty much Link going through the same thing, with the Zoras asking for the same thing, with Sidon actually remember Link saying, just pretending that he doesn't know, but he's still happy that he finally woke up, because he remembered what the Shikai said 100 years ago, that he might not be able to remember anything of his memories. And of course, same thing as happens with Link only hearing the name Mipha. He just says, "I feel like I heard that before. Do you know who that is?" With Sidon smiling a bit, saying, "That's my sister." And then pretty much he walks him up to the statue of Mipha. That's when he stares at it, it's like he's tearing up. And then memories appear out of nowhere of the marriage, like the ceremony, everything, him having his 2 children. He remembers that. He says, "Where are Hilda and her brother?" And Sidon surprised, saying, "Wait, you remember?" With he's saying, "I just remember the times I spent with everyone." And he asked, "Where's Mipha?" Sidon looks down and says, "I'm sorry, Link, but Mipha died protecting us." Link hearing this saying, "No, you must be lying. No." He keeps denying, saying, "No, she can't die. Right? Please tell me you're lying. Please tell me that this is a joke." So I'm not saying, "You know how I am, Link. I would never joke about something this serious. But I understand why you act this way. You truly loved her, didn't you?" With Link saying, "Yeah, I did, but I failed as a husband. I couldn't protect her. I failed as a father to not be able to protect my children." Pretty much him blaming himself for not being able to protect anyone. Him going to his knees, saying that Sidon comforts him, saying, It's fine. It's not your fault. It's just that we were not ready." Pretty much this is when the twins appear, saying, "Uncle Sidon." Instantly, Link stands up and says, and just thinks, those voices. With pretty much Hildia and her brother saying, "Sidon, something's bad's happening. The divine beast is going crazy." When Link turns back, the kids, pretty much the siblings, don't remember the face of their father. But he says, "Who's that?" With Sidon looks down and says, with Link looking at him and just shaking his head, saying, Sidon says, "This is your father, the hero with the sword." With Hildia and her brother shocked, saying, "No, this can't be." With Hildia, and of course they're in their Zora form for the whole time, because it's always raining there. So pretty much they don't know that they're actually part human. It's because they were always thought that they were Zoras. With Link walking up to them slowly, with both of them backing up a bit, with the brother saying, "This can't be father." Mother married a human? With Xylon saying, yes, and trust me when I say this, the eyes say more than words. That's when Link looked up at their eyes. He just started crying. That's when the twins also started crying. And they ran towards their father, saying, it's really you. It's really you. Them crying to meet their father finally. Him saying sorry that he couldn't be there for them and sorry for being a horrible father. With pretty much them not being angry at him because he had a job that he needed to protect the princess. And Sidon did tell them stories of his father's achievements and that his father didn't want to be king. He just wanted to live a regular life as a knight. And that's when the brother says, I'm taking your steps and want to be the best knight he can. With, of course, Link being proud of his son, saying, and I know you will. And then he asks of where the armor was and where he can find the king. With Sidon saying, it's the same place as always, and your armor is at the same place where it's been left there for a while. Link says, thank you, Sidon. And don't worry, I will get revenge for Mipha. And I will avenge her. For that bastard's gonna die. Pretty much walking towards the king, Link takes off the hood, with the king surprised, saying, Link. But he remembers that he might not remember him, saying, oh, you may not remember me. With Link saying, hello, father-in-law, how have you been? With him surprised, saying, you remember me? With Link saying, how could I forget the family that cared for me as their own? And how could I forget about my wife? With the king smiling, saying, so, the good thing is you haven't changed in years. With him asking a favor if he can help with the divine beast. Pretty much, Link, of course, said, I will do anything for her. I'll even save her and sacrifice my own life if I have to for my family. Pretty much, Link goes to the divine beast. Of course, with everything he has, with the help of Sidon. With the same thing, then when Link is inside the divine beast, he was able to get all the modules and stuff like that. And then when he got to the main area, he saw the blight, hearing Mipha's voice saying, be careful, my love. That blight, Ganon, defeated me 100 years ago. And I'm sorry that I was not able to be there for our children. With Link just yelling out saying, it's not your fault, it's mine, because I wasn't there for you. But now, the best I can do right now is free you from your prison. And I'll become a better father after everything is done. And yells at Blake and saying, you bastard! I'm going to kill you! And when I kill Ganon, I'm going to make sure I'll kill Ganon after I beat you and restore every divine beast again. Pretty much fighting and defeats the Blake Ganon as Ganon. And then when he actually activates the divine beast, that's when he hears a voice saying, I always knew you would always be my rescue. Pretty much in the corner of his eyes, he sees something green. He turns and sees Mipha. He runs towards her with water kind of slowing him down, and then he tries to grab her and hugs her, but he goes through. This is when the twins appear too, trying to help their father, but then they see their mother. Both of them actually start running towards her, saying, "Mother!" Pretty much trying to do the same thing as Link. With Link, actually, they see Link trying to desperately grab to her, like hugging her. With him crying, saying, "I'm sorry. I failed you. I'm sorry." With Mipha just putting her hand on the shoulder of Link, saying, "It's fine." And then pretty much going to the face of, going and caressing Link's face. With Link leaning to it, saying, "It's still warm, even though you're a ghost." With Mipha just kissing Link in the lips, with Link returning kiss, with both of them, with Link crying. And then Mipha stands up and sees her two children. She walks towards them. She puts her hands on both of them, on their cheeks, their faces. She says, "How you have grown. I'm sorry for not being there. I'm sorry for being a horrible mother. I wish I was there for you. But even though I wasn't there, know that I'll always love you. Know that I'll always try to protect you, even beyond the grave. Thank you." And this is when the whole family embraces themselves, each having a hug, with pretty much the twins crying, with Asta, with Link also crying. And the twins were sent out, but before they leave, Mipha says, "Don't worry, once this is all over, we'll meet each other in the next life." And then pretty much the twins left, with Mipha giving Mipha's grace to Link, with Link holding onto his chest saying, "Thank you." With Link saying, "I hope we meet in the next life. And when we do, I'll marry you and propose to you, and I hope we have a family again." With Mipha smiling, saying, "Well, since you proposed again, I guess I have to say I do." Mipha smiling, with Link walking towards her and saying, "I mean it. I will find you one day again, and I will marry you again. No matter how long it takes, I will find you again." Mipha starts tearing up, saying, "I hope you do, my prince." And they share a kiss again, with Mipha disappearing and Link turning into a light, going where the twins are. They see, and this is when they appear in the palace, and they see the divine beast walking towards the same place as Canon. And then she does the same speech, not just to her father, but and then before she ends the speech, saying, "I hope I find my kids and my husband on the next life again. Let's end this once and for all after we find the perfect moment." Pretty much, this is when Link tells the King of Zoras that he was able to see his wife's spirit in the beast. With the king tearing up, saying, "At least she's free now. She won't be tortured anymore." With Link saying that he will meet, and he said that in the next life he will actually see and marry his wife again one day. With the Zor saying, "Please, if in the next life we meet again, I hope you do. Hope you treat her the same way you ever had, with full of love and embrace." And the same thing as canon for the Zelda Breath of the Wild happens. Same as canon. Pretty much, Link destroys Ganon, but after that, he sees the spirit of Mipha going down towards her and says, "See you in the next life, my love." With Link also hugging her and then truly disappearing. just crying, saying, "Don't worry, please wait for me." With Zelda also feeling still jealous that Link was in love with her. And then, pretty much, Link decided to go back for his children, to go on an adventure and enjoy the life that they missed. With Link, after a few years when he started becoming old, he asked his children if he can help him go to the Lost Forest, and they did. The twins went to the Lost Forest with their father to put down the Master Sword back. With the kids amazed that they said that why did he do that? With Link saying, "My next life, I will need this. And don't worry, me and your mother will meet again in the next life. Hopefully, we'll have you again." Pretty much, he starts hugging them, saying, "I love you both, and I hope we get to see each other in the next life." With the brother saying, "Don't worry, father, I'll make you proud. I'll make you proud. I'll make you proud of who I become." And both of them were getting choked up on the feeling that since Link was someone that was slowly dying now, Link saying, "Don't worry, I'm already proud of both of you." And then Link passed away, before he did though, he said to his kids that in the next life, their father and mother will be reconnected. And the princess also since the princess didn't die before the hero, he pretty much said that she was in love with him for a while, but didn't want to cause trouble for them, which pretty much they figured out that Zelda, the last princess of Hyrule, was in love with their father, the king, the knight, the one that brought back light. And after a while, a lot of humans and other species found this island, but the divine beasts were not able to be taken with them because they were because they felt that the purpose has been finished. So they fell apart and just became machines that would not longer work. God, I'm actually starting to cry now. Oh my god. Ooh. So pretty much, after Asta, Noelle, and Zelda heard this, they were just tearing up, saying, Noelle just saying, how will, and just feeling sad that Asta has a soulmate already, with the queen asking to see Noelle's sword. With Noelle saying, "Okay." And Queen asks if I may do something to it, because I have a hunch about your sword. Noelle saying, "Sure, you can use it." Pretty much, then it turns into a trident. That's when the queen says, "Welcome back, Princess Mipha." And that's where I'm gonna end it for this part 9.5 and part 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this what if, and I will continue it, so take care, bye.